first time I heard of Andrew Adonis was in about 1990, when I think he was billed as about the brainiest person at Nuffield College, Oxford, which is not a place renowned for intellectual slouches.
So it's only been out a week. It's on Amazon. I've got about 5 or 6 copies which I can sell you for, if you want to get them. All of the profits, by the way, are going to support teenagers from disadvantaged families to study or volunteer in Europe. So that's what it's about. So I see this basically as a campaign book. Because we've got to have not just the arguments, but we've got to have a whole philosophy behind it, which is hugely important. And I've enjoyed doing it. It's helped me sort of think my own, work out my own thoughts.
What's the title, please?
It's called Saving Britain. We decided not to undersell the argument. It's not because I have a massive ego, though maybe I do have a bit of an ego, but the reason for doing it is that look, the other lot on the other side, remember they made all these extravagant claims and all that 2 years ago. People have got to understand how high the stakes are for the country, and for those of us who are not prepared to destroy the whole future of the country and our future as a civilization, which I think is seriously at stake if we leave Europe, pull up the drawbridge, give in to the xenophobes and the extremists who are trying to take over the country. People have got to understand how serious the stakes are, and this sets out the argument. So give it to your friends, get it out there. It's a book basically for the referendum, which I believe that we will hold, probably in the early part of next year, on whether we are prepared to support the Brexit treaty, or whether we're prepared to coin a phrase, to take back control and to see that we stop it and do what I think we should do as a country instead, which is to deal with those really big issues which do face us. Let's be clear, there are big issues to do with the NHS, to do with education, to do with jobs, to do with devolution in this country. We're far too centralised. All of those things need to be tackled. But we should tackle those issues and not Brexit and destroy our international relations, our European identity, and our sense of being an open, tolerant civilization, which is what's at stake in this I'd love to, see the thing about this Brexit thing is it's so pointless. It's having us to talk about things we shouldn't be talking about when we should be talking about the real issues. The real issues to do with Reading at the moment are, Crossrail is about to open, Elizabeth Line, in 6 months' time. That has the opportunity to transform this city, to transform it. It's already a great city, you have a great university, you've got great industries, you're only half an hour from London at the moment, but the things that you can do with this city, once you have, now essentially you're completely networked into Slough, Maidenhead, London, straight into the heart of London without changing trains. It is a phenomenal opportunity. What we should be debating here is how we take advantage of that to tackle the big problem about social divisions and poverty in Reading, how we create new businesses, how we turn this into one of the most vibrant and dynamic places in the country, instead of which we're having to come here this evening to talk about stopping Jacob Rees-Mogg, Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson wrecking the country. But the precondition for being able to do the things that really matter and important is that we do stop them. Because if we don't stop them, it's now very clear to me from doing meetings like this up and down the country, it's great, the fact you've given up your Thursday evenings to come here is a sign of how serious you think it. What's going to happen if they succeed in wrenching us out of the European Union next March? It's not that somehow we all then move on, which is what they think, we all then move on. You can't move on. You can't move on from membership of your trading bloc, the organisation and the political union which safeguards your security and all of that. You can't move on from those. We cannot change our geography. Next March, if we leave the European Union, Ireland is still our neighbour, France is still our neighbour. We still have to engage in massive trade with Germany. We still have a massive security threat coming from President Putin and Russia. This doesn't all change, it's all there. And what is clear to me is that if we do Brexit next March, what will happen is that the younger generation, who are not prepared to be shut up behind borders, will not put up with this, is that they will very rapidly start campaigning for us to go back in again. And my party, the Labour Party, which is overwhelmingly pro-European, we have the slight problem with Jeremy, and I'll come back to that. Jeremy, by the way, and I, we're great friends. See, can I let you into a secret? Jeremy is an even greater train spotter than me. I only buy Railway Magazine when I've got a long train journey at WH Smith's, and they said he is a subscriber. I mean, he's a real deal. So we do talk about this, but there is an issue about Jeremy and Europe, and we've got to work that through. But one thing I'm absolutely certain of is that if we Brexit because Labour has been complicit, which is the only way in which we will Brexit, and I'm working night and day to see that doesn't happen. But if we Brexit because Labour's been complicit, the next generation of Labour politicians, the first thing they will do is to devise sensible democratic strategies for taking us back into Europe. And though the Conservatives might just about to be able to make it stack up for a while, coming out, they might be able to. It depends very much what happens to the economy and trade and all that. And I think it's going to be bad. Not immediately, but as Keynes told us, there's a thing called compound interest. There's a thing called compound lack of growth. There's a thing called compound lack of jobs. There's a thing called compound lack of investment in the country. All these things compound year after year, and as that mounts up, and the Conservatives, one thing they're always absolutely set on as government, there will then be an increasing division between the neo-Thatcherite nationalist right of the Conservative Party, which unfortunately has taken charge. It's chapter 2 of this book is entitled How Mr Farage Became Leader of the Conservative Party, which is basically what's happened. There'll be a breach between that group and the group that basically is about power, and they will understand in due course that the only basis on which you can win and secure power is by a new rapprochement, if I'm allowed to use French terms, and maybe necessary, new agreements with our European partners, which will essentially take us back into the European Union. And the tragedy of that, and it's a real tragedy, is that the danger that faces us as a country, as I see it, is that we spend 10 or 15 years getting back to first base. Now, what a tragedy that we should be debating the NHS, the education system, dealing with this massive problem of social dislocation, social mobility, and all of that. Because let's be clear, there are massive things that are not working in this country. The figures on the regions in Northern Europe and their prosperity show that 7 of the 10 poorest regions, 7 of the 10 poorest regions in Northern Europe are in England. 7 of the 10. The richest, though, is London. That tells you so much about what is going on in this country at the moment. It also explains to you why we have this great sense of alienation in large parts of the country. It's why, to be blunt, we can even afford to be talking about Brexit. If we didn't have the motor house, the motor of the economy which comes from London and the South East, which Reading is such an important part, if we didn't have that, there is no way that even vaguely responsible politicians could start talking about Brexit and wrenching us out of the customs union, the single market, and all of our trading press. That simply wouldn't be possible. But as it becomes clear that this isn't sustainable, we'll get back to first place. But what we have got to do, which is why you are all so important, every single individual one of you, all of us are so important, is we are a democracy. We are, I believe, the greatest democracy, in some ways the first democracy, and the greatest democracy in the world. We're sometimes slow to rouse. It took a while. I'll be quite frank, I wasn't properly roused 2 years ago. I didn't think that there was a cat's chance of this referendum being the vote going the wrong way. I only did one meeting in the entire, I'm ashamed to say, in the referendum campaign, I only did one meeting. That was as a stand-in for somebody who was debating against John Wedgwood. It just never occurred to me that the referendum would go the wrong way. Because I just thought that the arguments were so clear. But the problem was the big lie one. It's not that the British people reached the wrong decision. They were given the wrong information is what happened. The big lie one. They were told that there was 350 million, do you remember, on the side of the bus for the NHS, that we could have our cake and eat it. We were going to sign all these brilliant trade treaties with all these places which the European Union had stopped us trading with. All of these things. And because it was a short campaign, because we unfortunately had David Cameron leading the campaign forward, he didn't want an argument between Conservatives. He did what was called at the time a blue-on-blue argument. So he tried to suppress the argument rather than having the argument. Because we had Jeremy leading on our side, and Jeremy, I think, made one speech in the entire referendum campaign, and because we had Boris rampaging around the country with his bus, we had Farage, who is brilliant populist and all of that. Unfortunately, people who made the best arguments 2 years ago did narrowly win. Now, we are now making the best arguments. Let's be clear what's happening. This 350 million, well, that's gone. The Prime Minister has already agreed a 39 billion exit deal. 39 billion exit deal. And that's, at the moment, we don't know what the long-running cost will be, because what's happening at the moment, because Brexit can't be made to work on its current basis, you can't wrench a country like this out of all of its trading relations in any short period of time at all. So, at the moment, we're already saying, because it's important to understand what's going on, because you don't necessarily get the best information from the Daily Mail and even even the BBC hasn't been fully living up to its responsibility to explain what's going on at the moment. This thing called the implementation period, which they've already agreed, the implementation period, which is 21 months from the end of next March, involves us staying in the totality of the customs union and the single market, everything, free movement, all of the current customs arrangements, all of the payments we make to the EU, everything, except the one thing that we can wrench ourselves out of without disrupting our trade, and that is withdrawing our seat in the Council of Ministers, which is, if you think about it, a ludicrous thing to do, because what we are doing as a free, self-governing, democratic state next March is to agree that we are going to do everything that the European Union does at the moment. We're not being forced to do this. There isn't an army invading from Calais. The Prime Minister agreed this on behalf of all of us with the European Union on the 8th of December, that we're going to do all of that, except we're going to do the one thing which we can do without disrupting our trade and entire economy, which is we're going to withdraw our minister from the Council of Ministers, which is like sort of cutting your arms, your wrist, and shooting yourself in the foot, in order to prove that you are capable of doing this. Now, we all know it's possible to do, but it doesn't mean it's a good thing to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to be, in now what people understand, it's a kind of semi-vassal state next March. Now, the problem is that these trade agreements are very complex. We've had 155 hours of debate in the House of Lords on these issues. Now, I've been in the chamber of the House of Lords for 152 hours. After one of the days when we were on until 4 o'clock in the morning, I fell asleep an hour or two before somebody kindly suggested it might be a good idea if I went home. So I did, but I've been there for almost all of them, and in doing this, I've started doing things which I never thought I'd ever end up doing. I have started reading trade agreements. I have started reading, I have read the first 500 pages. 500 big trade agreements are very, very big, between the European Union and South Korea, which is hugely important to our car industry. We have quadrupled the number of cars we sell to South Korea since we entered into the trade agreement with South Korea in 2010. So I've been doing all these things. We can't possibly withdraw all those things, and we certainly can't renegotiate them in any short period of time. So what's now happened is that having agreed this implementation period, which is complete continuation of the customs union and the single market until the end of 2020, the government has now agreed in the 8th of December and has offered for further debate as to how it's going to happen, a thing called the backstop. Now, you have to concentrate hard here because there's going to be a test at the end of this. The backstop is an agreement that if we don't have a new customs arrangements, we're not allowed to call these things customs unions anymore because they're bad, that's European, and it involves the European Union. We have a customs arrangement which will probably comprise almost the totality of customs, but it's going to be different because it's new, and it's not, it's post-Brexit, so it must be brilliant. And Boris will have negotiated it, or David Davis, or whoever, or Liam Fox, or one of you who is there, that would be brilliant. But because we may not have this new brilliant shiny thing in place in time, we've agreed the backstop. The backstop is the rolling over of the totality of European law and the customs union and the single market to an undefined period beyond the implementation period. But of course, we are still having no seat in the Council of Ministers until such time as we have renegotiated both the customs union, actually three things, the customs union, the single market, and whatever arrangement we're going to have in respect to them, and also the 59 free trade agreements that the European Union has with all of these third parties, including South Korea, Japan, Canada, and so on which our trade vitally depends. Now, letting you into a secret, Liam Fox is unlikely to have negotiated all of these trade agreements anytime soon. So the backstop is going to become quite important. Now, the question then is, how long will this backstop continue for? Now, for the Europhobes, it's very important that the backstop itself has a backstop. Because, are you with me? You're with me there. Because unless the backstop has a backstop, then we might be in this arrangement, this quasi sort of purgatory state in the ante-room to the EU, but not quite. We might be in that indefinitely. Now, that would never do. So, I don't know if you followed the detail of what was going on between David Davis and the Prime Minister last week, but why he was threatening to resign was because the Prime Minister had not agreed with the European Union that there should be an end date to the backstop. He wants he wants an end date to the backstop so that we're not going to be in this purgatory forever. What she said, on very good advice in the civil service school, is, for goodness sake, don't agree to an end to the backstop for two reasons. Firstly, because no one knows how long it's going to take us to negotiate all these trade treaties and all of that. And you absolutely don't want to be left in complete limbo, because while we're in the European Union, we do have a default. Namely, we're in. Once we're out, if this thing expires, then you get the 50-mile tailbacks at Dover, you get planes not flying, you get food not in the shops, you get fuel not in the pubs. This becomes quite serious. So they said, Prime Minister, it's not, my good friend Jeremy Hayward and these others who do actually understand that there are certain things you simply can't do for the good government of the country. You shouldn't do it. But there's a really compelling reason why they can't do it too, which is the border in Northern Ireland. The problem is that the Irish government, quite rightly, will not, as a member of the European Union, agree to give consent to any treaty, which might conceivably lead to a border between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. And they are completely right, I tell you. They're completely right to do that. Because the government of the United Kingdom has already agreed that. We agreed it with the European Union on the 8th of December last year. We've also agreed it in an international treaty, the Good Friday Agreement, which is an international treaty. And we undertook solemnly, one of the most solemn undertakings that this country has given, because it was bringing an end to what was a virtual civil war in Ireland. We agreed that there will be no border between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. And the only way it's possible to guarantee that is that if there isn't a satisfactory customs union and single market arrangement after we leave the European Union, then the status quo continues. So they've had to agree. So what happens, now you have to pay close attention here at this point, is that in this to-ing and fro-ing last week, what David Davis and the Prime Minister agreed is that though we will not have a backstop to the backstop at the end of the implementation period of the treaty, we will have an aspiration to have, an aspiration, these words become very, very important, an aspiration to have a backstop to the backstop at the end of the implementation period. Well, an aspiration, of course, is in one sense meaningless. I mean, I aspire to be the, actually my biggest aspiration maybe is to stop Brexit entirely. But I have many other aspirations. I want to be Richard Branson in terms of wealth. I want to be Yo-Yo Ma in terms of my ability to play the cello. I have lots of aspirations. Unfortunately, most of them are not going to be realised. I have to let you see them. I'm 55, my opportunity to visit things I still have the aspiration to do so. And David Davis has agreed with the Prime Minister that we have aspiration that we have a backstop to the backstop at the end of the implementation period. But the truth of the matter is, most of this simply can't be delivered. So what will happen, I'm absolutely convinced now, is if we formally withdraw from the European Union next March, we will go into this limbo, which will be very, very difficult, will involve backstops and transition arrangements, transition arrangements, and all of that. And we will ultimately have to either formally come back into the European Union by simple fact of needing to maintain our trade and economy, or we'll end up in the European Free Trade area as a member of the European Free Trade Agreement. So we will adopt a position very, very similar to Norway, which is effectively in these arrangements, but doesn't have a seat around the table of the Council of Ministers, not because it doesn't want to, but because the Norwegians rejected it in a referendum. The Swiss did too, but it's very interesting what's happening with Norway and Switzerland. The political governing classes in Norway and Switzerland understand the absolutely right thing for their countries is to be in the EU. But because they haven't been able to persuade their people to, they're in this anti-trade. And they know that the anti-trade was deeply unsatisfactory, because what it means is essentially that they were all taken, but nonetheless it's all that they can do. And we will end up in that stage. Now, because we were a big country with huge industries and economy and all that, that isn't going to be a stable place for us, which is why I think that what will ultimately end up is that we go back in. And the great irony is that there's so much history in this. I'm a historian, there's a lot of history in this about the background to this. We were, of course, before we entered the European community in 1973, we were a member, we were a founder member of the European Free Trade Area. We were there from the beginning of the Free Trade Area, which was founded alongside the signing of the Treaty of Rome in 1957, because at that stage we didn't want to go into the full Treaty of Rome arrangements. And we were found a member. It's because we found that status so unsatisfactory for us as a country, because we had the French, the Germans, the Italians and the Benelux countries negotiating all the terms of trade which we then had to sign up to, that we then sought under Howard, Prime Ministers of both parties, started with Howard and Macmillan, then Howard Wilson and then Edward Heath. We then sought to enter the European Union. And I think there'll be a great sense of deja vu and the same will happen. Now, we do, because we're a great democracy, and democracy involves open debate and tolerance, we're being quite polite to each other. I mean, I even managed to be quite polite to Nigel Farage, because he and I do lots of head-to-head. So I said that I would, in order to try and break the ice at the beginning, I would, because he's desperate to get into the House of Lords. So I said, I will swap my seat in the House of Lords for his German passport. He was observed in the German embassy a year ago, in the consular division, filling out forms, and one doesn't go, I mean, German bureaucracy, if you think our bureaucracy is bad, you know, I mean, I think he was there for a week, because it takes a long time to fill out these forms. But he wouldn't answer when I was doing my head-to-head, he wouldn't answer the question whether it was indeed a kind of German passport. But about a month ago, he was doing the thing with someone, he volunteered the fact that he himself has not got a German passport. The reason he was in the German embassy was applying German passports for his children. Now his children, because his wife is German, so he was applying for passports for them. Now, I don't normally bring people's children into passports, I think that's not the thing I do, but because he had referred to them himself, I then thought it was perfectly reasonable for me to say, well, actually, there are many millions of other young people in this country who would also love to have continuing citizenship of the European Union. And I brought with me a wonderful guy called Will Dry. Where is Will? Will standing at the back. Will is organising a group called Our Future, Our Choice, which is mobilising the young in the pro-European cause up and down the country. It's doing a fantastic Will, as we speak, is trying to get adopted by Nigel Farage. And I asked, because I did the LBC show with Nigel, he had me on it was very difficult getting work. And I said to him when we were off the air, I said, look, there are lots of young people who want to be adopted, but I have to ask you, Nigel, I said, there are quite a lot of older people who say, what is the maximum age at which you're prepared to adopt people? So he didn't want to answer that. So we go there. Now with Mr. Rees-Mogg, our banter goes roughly as follows. I say, because we've now got it down to a fine art, because we do this thing with Mr. Head quite a lot. I say that the President of France, when he was here 2 months ago, I thought it wasn't brilliant. I mean, good. I wish the Prime Minister could perform as well on the mark. I'm becoming a great fan of Emmanuel Macron. Anyway, he said that he was going to lend us, remember, he's going to lend us the Bayeux Tapestry. Now, I'm not quite sure why we want the Bayeux Tapestry as it happens. I mean, I think, well, that celebrates it. But nonetheless, it's the first time it's left Normandy since the 11th century. It's a great honour, and it's apparently going to be on display in the British Museum for a few months. But apparently, he said to Her Majesty the Queen that he would like a return gift. So I have suggested to Her Majesty that the return gift we should send to France in return for the Bayeux Tapestry is Jacob Rees-Mogg. Because he is every bit as historic as the Bayeux Tapestry. He exemplifies in one person the whole history of this country over many centuries. And what should happen is, when the Bayeux Tapestry comes in, the French should put Jacob on display in the Louvre. And so when you go to the Louvre, you can go and look at the Adonis of the rocks, you can go and look at the Mona Lisa, and then you can look at Jacob. Problem. There's a problem. I have to share with you. President Macron has rejected Jacob on the grounds that, compared to the Bayeux Tapestry, he is far too recent. Anyway, these are the sorts of rhetorical things we get up to. But the truth of the matter is, it's deadly serious. As you will see what's happening in Parliament this week, there is a real battle taking place, and the battle is basically about whether the people of this country are going to be allowed, on mature consideration, having been able to take stock of what has actually happened in the conduct of these negotiations, the treaty that is going to be put to Parliament by the Prime Minister of the autumn, whether the British people are going to play a vital part in the key decisions that we take on this in the autumn. That's the critical issue. What is essentially happening is that the nationalist right, Mr. Farage, Mr. Rees-Mogg, Boris, are trying to suppress that debate, and they absolutely do not want the people's vote, or even a meaningful vote in Parliament. What they want is for democracy to have stopped on the 23rd of June 2016, and we, the people, play no further part. But we are a great democracy. Democracy has not stopped. The fact that there are, whatever it is, 200 of you in this room this evening shows that it hasn't stopped. We are deeply interested and passionate about what's going to happen, and we want to play a key part in deciding what should happen. And that is the battle that's taking place at the moment. And the whole future of the country depends upon it. And I just want to say one final thing about this, because there is this myth going around that somehow we were all bamboozled, that we're all pretty stupid, and we were bamboozled into joining this thing called the common market without realising what it was all about. And it's in fact untrue historically. The question in the 1975 referendum was, do you favour the United Kingdom remaining a member of the common markets brackets, the European community? It was always clear. And the reason why we were so keen on having this supranational institution, which is a democratic institution which we would join freely, is it was never just about trade. It was about ensuring that the kind of conflict which led to the Second World War, the First World War, now, sovereignty is there to be used. There is no more worthwhile purpose for us as the people of Britain to use our sovereignty than to see that we have arrangements, agreements, partnerships, unions with our European friends and allies, which mean that we never, ever return to that again. And that isn't, and that is every bit as big a set of issues now. I mean, you know, go and see what's happening in Poland and Hungary at the moment, where there are real threats to the rule of law taking place at the moment. Italy, I've just come back from. Italy being bound into the European Union is hugely important given the populist pressures that they're subject to at the moment. We have Trump to our west. We have Putin to our east. Putin is a kind of 1930s type fascist. I mean, that's what we're dealing with at the moment. We have President Xi, who's just effectively abolished the only thing that passed for the constitution of China and declared himself now to be a life ruler in the tradition of Mao. This is a very, very unsafe world. And the great paradox of what's happening here at the moment is that people say that we can take all this for granted, it's all fine. Well, the only 70 years where we have had peace in Europe, where we haven't been violating each other's borders, and when the younger generation haven't had to go off and fight wars, is the 70 years while there has been a European Union. So what should we do? Chuck away this European Union or work inside it to the best of our abilities to make a success of it? Obviously we should. But the key thing for the debate at the moment is we were never bamboozled. Parliament voted freely to go into this European Union at the time, and the British people did in 1975 too, and I believe they will do so too with the referendum that I believe we will hold in next year. But the key point about the argument we need to make, because this is Berkshire for Europe, is that this is not an inconvenience. It's not the best that we can make do of in the circumstances in which we face. It's not even just about trade. There is a big moral, passionate purpose behind this, behind the solidarity of the peoples of Europe, which is to put the past behind us and never to revisit it, and to work together for a common future. A common future in which we have our differences, because we're different nations, we have different traditions, all of that. Nobody's talking about suppressing those, but we do agree to work together as a union, the European Union, see that we don't revisit those horrors of the past. And that was always present at the beginning, right from the very beginning. The start of this whole European project, well, actually I think the very start of it actually was Winston Churchill in Zurich in 1946, where he talked about creating what he called a kind of United States of Europe. But the start of it in terms of the formal process of creating the European Union was the setting up of the European Coal and Steel Community in 1951, which then became the European Community and what then became the Customs Union with the signing of the Treaty of Rome 6 years later. Now, the European Coal and Steel Community was founded by a treaty, the Treaty of Paris, which we chose not to sign. I think it was a huge mistake to sign it, but we chose not to sign it. We then had to sign it later, when in 1973 we joined the European Union, and we then signed the Treaty of Rome and the Treaty of Paris. These are the opening words of the Treaty of Paris. You'd expect it to be talking about coal and steel and collaboration and all of that. Not a bit of it. These are the opening words. The President of the Federal Republic of Germany, the Prince Royal of Belgium, the President of the French Republic, the President of the Italian Republic, the Grand Duchess of Luxembourg, the Queen of the Netherlands. Considering that world peace can be safeguarded only by creative efforts commensurate with the dangers that threaten it. Convinced that the contribution which an organised and vital Europe can make to civilization is indispensable to the the maintenance of peaceful relations. Recognising that Europe can be built only through practical achievements, which will first of all create real solidarity and through the establishment of common bases for economic development. Resolved to substitute for age-old rivalries the merging of their essential interests to create, by establishing an economic community, the basis of a broader and deeper community amongst peoples long divided by bloody conflicts, and to lay the foundations for institutions which will give direction to a destiny henceforth shared, have decided to create the European coal and steel community. That is what all this is about, and that's why we are all here this evening to see that we don't Brexit, we remain in the European Union, and we start doing those things which we should do as a people ourselves, which is to put right all of those problems we face here and not blame it all on foreigners, on Europe, and scapegoating everybody else besides ourselves for sorting out.